to get your take on something. There was a story in The Guardian that said most girls can't even find Syria on a map. And you and I have spoken about this. You've been reporting in Syria for a while. Elizabeth Palmer was the only American journalist in Syria. And it turns out that the Beirut bureau chiefs for the Financial Times, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Washington Post, NPR, Economist, Telegraph are all women. What is the role, do you think, of women journalists in Syria now? What has changed?
Well, I think that women are really dominating in terms of the Syria coverage that we've seen. And I think that one tiny part of that may be, people always assume, oh, you're a woman in the Middle East, it must be so tough, how do you do it? And actually, it's a tremendous privilege and honor in many ways to work as a woman in the Middle East, because you're afforded access to other women, which our male counterparts are not. And let me tell you something, you go to the village and sit down with the women, they know everything that is happening in that village.
Absolutely right.
Do you think people are more open to talking to women journalists?
I know one of the main advantages is that women are more invisible. So I think I can always get through a military checkpoint more easily than a man. I can melt into a crowd. I can put on a headscarf and virtually disappear. And there's a huge advantage to that in many, many situations.
And at the level of the government, I often met with the wives or the mothers of some of these rulers, and you'd be surprised how much clout these women really have in their own societies, and you learn things through these networks that you would not otherwise learn. But I want to just return to one point. I think our allies in the region, whether it is Israel or the Gulf states, are also quite concerned, particularly the Gulf states, the Saudis, the UAE and others. They went out on a limb with us that Assad had to go. And now Assad seems to be in a stronger position than he was 6 months ago. And so I think that's a problem.
But they've been arming the rebels who are not necessarily our allies.
Well, and Liz, because we said we're going to leave this to the regional powers. And it's not surprising then that the regional powers carried out their own agendas, not ours. And the regional powers arm Sunnis. We wanted a Syria that was for all Syrians.
It is a conversation that could go on and on.
Yes.
It's so great to have all of you here.
It's a great moment to have you here, all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Condoleezza Rice, Elizabeth Palmer, and Clarissa Ward, congratulations on the Emmys and everything.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Well deserved.